Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second class for electrical and fire hazard and safety management. Last week, we started with the introduction into electrical fire hazard and safety management. Today, we'll be moving forward to know basic introduction into electrical hazard. What are the components that makes up an electrical hazard? Give example, and basically have a little physics background into electricity. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics Census, occupational injury research between 1992 and 2005, electrocution is the fifth leading causes of work-related deaths for 16 to 19-year-old. Category of people between 16 to 19-year-old are normally the fifth leading cause of electrocution after motor vehicle deaths, contact with objects, equipment, workplace, and homicide. Electrical hazard cause more than 300 deaths and over 4,000 injuries every year in the US workforce. Electrocution is regarded as the sixth among causes of workplace death in America. In Nigeria, 366 Nigerians are killed by electrocution in 2017, according to Nigerian Electrical Council Association. So you can see that the cause of death by people are usually the most important. Electrocution is normally the cause of death for most young people. Also, the statistics in Nigeria also shows that. So what we are saying is that electrical hazard is very, very crucial in the industry because a lot of people get injured. It leads to cause of death for most people. If you want to read further on the story, you can read further by reading at that Vanguard in 2018 that shows the record of deaths associated with electrical hazard in Nigeria. So you can see pictures of examples of deaths as a result of electrocution, most especially workers of power holding company, whether Disco or Ikeja Electrics. People get electrocuted one way or the other because of improper training or lack of PPE. Electrocution is the cause of 77% of all workplace deaths among young workers, ages between 16 and 19, causing an average of 10 deaths per year. Young people are very energetic, they are very restless, and because of that, they are mostly the ones that are facing serious challenges when it comes to electrocution. 7% of workplace deaths are basically young workers between the age of 16 and 19. What constitutes electrocution? So before somebody can get electrocuted, there are materials that we have to talk about. The first one is the conductor. The second one is the insulator. What is a conductor? What is an insulator? A conductor, in terms of physics, is any material that contains free electrons. A conductor is any materials that contain free electrons. Otherwise, a conductor is any materials that can pass electrons or that can allow the flow of electricity. That is what a conductor is. Why an insulator is also it contains few electrons, but those electrons are not free to move. It contains free electrons, but they are not free to move. So usually they are non-metallic material and they don't conduct electricity. They don't allow the flow of current. So the two most important materials that will help us to safeguard our life in terms of electricity hazard is a conductor and an insulator. A conductor is the one that has a lot of free electrons, which means current can pass through. Example are gold, copper, silver, and aluminum. While an insulator contains free few electrons, usually non-metallic such as wood, rubber, and glasses. And this does not allow flow of current. So how do we generate electricity? Well, we know that a conductor and an insulator are things that allow free movement of electrons, and the one that does not allow free movement of electrons. So how do we generate electricity? If we cast our back to secondary school, when we are feeling cold, they ask us to rub our palms together. When you rub your palm together for a very long time, it feels hot. And when you put it on top of a paper, that can lift a paper up. That is the process of generating static electricity. And that process is called friction. Rubbing your hand is friction. So electricity can be generated through friction, through pressure, through heat, through light. It can also be generated through chemical reaction and magnetism. Electricity can be generated through friction, pressure, heat, light, chemical reaction, and magnetism. The most common and the one that is inexpensive is through magnetism. Magnetism is the one that is most common and it does not cost much. So electricity is produced when a magnet is moved past a piece of wire. The wire is moved through an electrical field. Then current is what is generated. So when currents are generated, what are the terms that are associated with it? The terms that are associated with current generation are voltage, current, and resistance. There is voltage, there is current, and there is resistance. The voltage is the unit of measurement of electromotive force. Voltage is the unit of measurement of electromotive force. While current is the continuous movement of electron past a given point. Voltage is the unit of measurement of electromotive force, EMF, while current is the continuous movement of electron past a given point. Resistance, that means opposition to movement of electron. So when electron did not move and it does not pass through, that is what we call a resistance. So that makes it impossible to generate it, to control current flow, supply current voltage to other device. So the most important thing that we need to know about current, the most important thing that we need to know about current are, the most important thing we need to know about electricity are current, voltage, resistance. So a scientist in the olden days, George Simon Ohms, formulated a mathematical relationship between these three. And this mathematical relationship is the current, voltage, and resistance. So for that's basic physics. We'll leave that. So the two important things that we need to know is about resistance and impedance. So for resistance, it's normally called direct current, while impedance is called alternate current. Resistance is called direct current, while impedance is called alternate current. Direct current always flow in one direction. Direct current always flow in one direction. And those are the one we use to charge battery, run our motors, operate electric magnetic field device, and welding equipment. Those are direct current. While alternate currents are mostly common in electrical works, they change rapid in both directions and value. Most of the power companies produce current in form of an alternate current because alternate currents are very, very cheap to manufacture. So let's have some basic definition. Current is the movement of electrical charge. Voltage is the measure of electrical force. Current is the movement of electrical charge. Voltage is a measure of electrical force. While circuit, a complete path to the flow. While circuit is a complete path to the flow. A complete path for the flow of current. A physical electrical connection to the earth is what we call ground. When they said, is the house grounded or is it connected to the earth? You know, some houses, you touch some things and they said the house is choking or there's current flow because the electrical connection in the house was not earthed. So that's what we call a ground. Energize, live or hot. Similar terms meaning that a voltage is present that can cause a current so that it's possibility of getting shocked. When they said that something is energized, that means it has a live current or it has a hot current. Energized is the term used to show the presence of voltage in something, in an electrical situation. Why? Conductor are the materials in which an electrical current moves. A conductor is the materials in which an electrical current moves. That means it can allow the flow of current. I've discussed that earlier. Why an insulator is something that does not allow flow of current because it has little, not that current cannot flow through it, current can flow through it, but it's slow. Example, wood. Current cannot flow through wood, but if that wood is wet, there will be current flow. So why neutral are at ground potential because of connection to the ground? Neutral are at ground potential. That means the voltage of neutral is 0 because the connection is to the ground. So all these terms that we have talked about, why are they important? Why are they crucial to electricity? You must know whether something is a conductor. You must know whether something is an insulator. You must know whether you are dealing with an alternate current or you are dealing with a direct current. If you are dealing with an alternate current, you know that the current does not move in one direction, which means there's probability for you to get shocked. There's probability for you to die. When you read and they say that it's live wire, that means that wire or that electrical component has voltage in it. So why do we have to know this? We have to know this because electrical injuries are common in the industry. And there are 4 main important electrical injuries. There are 4 main types of electrical injuries that can occur in the industry. The first one is electrocution. The first one is electrocution. Electrocution is death due to electrical shock. When somebody is electrocuted, that means that person has died. So there is difference between electrocution and electrical shock. Electrocution, death due to electrical shock. Why electrical shock is it will just give that person a shock, but did not result into death. It will just give the person an electrical shock, but it does not result into death. Why electrocution results into death? The third one is burns. The third one is burns. Sometimes when somebody puts hand in an electrical panel, the hand gets burns. The hand gets burns. You see in the last video, the video I shared, we watched last week, you saw the woman being getting burned seriously. When the current is very, very high, or the voltage is very, very high, human being can get burned. So that is the third one. The last one that can cause injury in electricity is falls. Fall. When somebody touch an electrical voltage and the thing trigger off, that person can fall, and the fall can result to head injury. This fall can result into spinal cord injury. The fall can also result in death. It may not be, the person may not die as a result of electrocution. The person may die as a result of falling probably from a very high place. So not all accidents result into electrocution. That person hold the transformer and he died. It may not be electrocution. It may just that the current pushed him far away and he fall and his head, I had an head injury, or he had a spinal cord injury. So there are four main types of electrical injury. There's electrocution, there's electrical shock, there is burn, and there is falls. The danger of electricity, electrical shock, the resulting injury may be discussed. Discussing said that when somebody gets shocked, somebody can get electrical shock, and if that person has an underlying injury, a person that has high blood pressure already, if the person gets shocked and a CPR or quick emergency is not done to the person, what happened? The person can quickly die. The person can quickly die. So it is important for us to know that. Let's read an example. A 30-year-old male electrical technician was helping a company's service representatives test the voltage regulating unit on a new rolling mill. While the electrical technician went to get the equipment service manual, the service representative opened the panel cover of the voltage regulator control cabinet in preparation to trace the voltage wire in question. There are two people involved. The first one is a male electrician who is helping somebody. The technician went to look for a service manual to check. But the person who accomplished him, who is the service representative, climbed onto a nearby cabinet in order to view the wire. The technician returned and began working inside the control cabinet near exposed energized electrical conductor. Near exposed electrical conductor. The technician tugged at the voltage wire while the service representative tried to identify them from above. Suddenly, the representative heard a victim making a grunge sound and looked down to see the victim. Shaking as though he was being shocked. A CPR was administered to the victim about 10 minutes later. He was pronounced dead almost 2 hours later as a result of contact with an energized electrical conductor. That is how people can die on the field. How people can die on the field. We have two people who are working. The first one is the technician. The second one is a service representative who is supposed to help the technician. While the technician is looking and working on the voltage wire, the representative does what? Is just around there. So, and after some minutes, he heard a sound. Before he could do anything, before he could administer CPR, the person was pronounced dead after 2 hours. Now let's look at that event. Before you do any work, establish proper rules and procedure. Hello, can we mute our mic, please? can we mute our mic, please? So we must first establish proper rules and procedure on how to access electrical control panel without getting hurt. Make sure all employees know importance of de-energizing. Shut down all electrical systems before we perform any repairs. Shut down all electrical repairs before we perform any repairs. You can say, I've been working in this team for 20 years. I've been working in here for the past 30 years. Some people will be using their teeth. Some electricians, they'll be using their teeth to peel wire. They'll be using their teeth to open wire. So which is very, very dangerous because you don't know the current is alternate current. It's alternate current. You can think you are working with 110 voltage, and the company supplying the current suddenly increase the current to 240. And you have calculated that you are working with 110. Because it's an alternate current, the current can change anytime. Equip voltage regulating equipment with color-coded wire. You must know the wire you want to work with. You must know the wire you want to work with, and you must test them before you work. Sometimes some people said red is neutral, green is neutral, black is this. It depends on the company that manufactured the wire. Some company change their procedure. One thing I found out about Nigeria is that we don't read manual. We don't read manual before we start working. You say, okay, Tamakul, all their wire, all their red wire are normally live. But unfortunately, they change it in the manual to black. And you now put it in the mouth. You say you now put it in the mouth, and what happens? Hello, can we mute our mic, please? Your mic is causing disturbance. Everybody mute your mic. Everybody mute your mic. Yes. So workers must be trained in CPR. We must train our workers about resuscitation. When people get shocked,
where are you now?
Perform CPR for them. It's very, very important. Let's look at another example.
Today's lecture.
Let's look at another example. A maintenance man rode 12 feet above the floor on a motorized lift to work on 277 volt light fixture.
You understand, bro?
He did not turn off the power supply of the light. He removed the line fuse from the black wire, which he thought was the hot wire. But because of a mistake in installation, it turned out that the white wire was the hot wire, not the black one. The black wire was neutral. He thought the black wire was the one that is energized. He thought the black wire was the one that is energized because in every work,
from somebody.
The work he has been doing. The black wire is always the energized wire. But unfortunately,
give me my khaki.
Unfortunately, the black wire is the neutral there, while the white wire is the energized one. So he began to strip the white wire using a wire stripper with the right hand. Electricity passed from the hot white wire to the stripper to him.
Come back. Your child, I'm busy.
Miriam Adebayo, why are you raising up your hand? Do you have any question? Miriam Adebayo, why are you raising up your hand? Do you have any question? Do you have any question? Miriam Adebayo, why are you raising up your hand? Do you have any question? Hello? Hold on. Hello, sorry about that. So she immediately summoned another worker who lowered the platform. CPR was performed, but the maintenance man couldn't save the man's life. What causes death? The simple thing that causes death that normally all the wires he has been using are black wire. He thought the black wire is the energized one. And he did what? He removed the fuse and removed the black wire. But unfortunately, it is the white one that is the energized one. So he started using a wire stripper to strip it. And the wire touches his hand and causes him to what? To get shocked. By the time they brought him down, he was pronounced dead at the scene of the event. So if you work on an electrical circuit, test to make sure that all the circuits are de-energized. Shut them down. Never attempt to undo any wire or conductor until you are absolutely positive that no electrical current is on it. Don't assume. Ask your co-worker, go and help me to cut the circuit down. The co-worker that you asked to go and cut the circuit down, while he's going, his family called him for an urgent thing and he forgets. He gets back and you thought he has cut it. He has shot the thing down and he didn't shut it down. You touch an electrical wire, you die. So you must de-energize every current. You must make sure that nothing is left on. You must be sure to log out and tag all circuits. You must tag if you have to lock it with your own key. If you have to log it with your own key, put the key inside your pocket. You'll be sure that yes, you are safe. I am the master of my life. The key is in my hand. Always assume that a conductor is dangerous. Whoever is working with electricity must always be sure that yes, so this electricity is dangerous and we must work on it. So that is the general view about today's lecture. Let me give a call to the class before I go into summary for those of us who came late. For those of us who came late, I said, according to the Bureau of Statistics of Labor, electrocution is the 5th leading causes of work-related deaths. And this normally happens for people between the ages of 16 to 19. After electrocution, motor vehicle accident, contact with objects and equipment. Electrical hazard causes more than 300 deaths and 4,000 injuries every year among US workforce. In 2017, 366 Nigerians are killed by electrocution. You can read more about that in Vanguard newspaper. You can see video or you can see pictures of example of people that are electrocuted. Electrocution is the cause of 7% of all workforce deaths among people who are very young, and it's causing an average of 10 deaths per year. So what are the things about electricity? Electricity has two main things. There's a conductor and there's what we call an insulator. Conductors are things that contain many free electrons, while insulators are things that does not allow free flow of current. Insulators are things that does not allow free flow of current. So before something can allow electricity to pass, that means that thing must be able to generate electricity. So how do we generate electricity? We can generate electricity through friction, through pressure, through heat, through light, through chemical reaction, and through magnetism. Electricity is produced when a magnet is moved past a piece of wire, or wire is moving through magnetic field. So there are some terms we must know when we are working with electricity, such as voltage, current, and what? Resistance.
Resistance.
Voltage, current, and resistance. So there's what we call direct current, and there's what we call alternate current. So for somebody to get electrocuted or for electrical injuries to occur, there are 4 types. There's electrocution which results in death, there's electrical shock, there is burns, and there is fall. There's electrocution which ordinarily results in death, there's electrical shock, there is burns, and there is falls. So, in summary, always test a cycle to make sure it's energized before you walk. You will receive an electrical shock if a part of your body completes the electrical cycle. That means if your body touches something, the current will pass through your body, and it touching a live wire and electrical ground, it can lead to death. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Any question? Okay, I have 2 people raising up their hand. I have 2 people raising up their hand. Mrs. Miriam and Olatunde raising up their hand. Okay. You are free. You are muted now.
My question is, hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. That's okay.
Okay. When we were growing up, there was a saying that electric shock do reduce the rate of assimilation. I just want to confirm if safe, sir.
There's the background noise in your end. I can't hear you. The background noise. What's the question?
If the electric,
it's like it's network problem.
I can be okay. I can let's manage. I can.
Does electric shock cause the rate of price of the
Can you type it? Can you type it? Can you type it in the message? I can barely hear you.
I'll do that, sir.
Okay. Okay, the next person. We have 2 people that is the second person. Olatunde.
Sir?
You raise up your hand.
Yes, I did, sir.
Okay, you have any question?
The question I asked is just can electric shock reduce the rate of assimilation of human being?
The rate of assimilation.
Yes, rate of assimilation. How to assimilate things. Can electric shock reduce it?
Yes, now.
Okay, sir.
Yes, because you know the human brain. The human brain is full of water and oil. The brain is full of water and fatty acid. So when you get shocked, there's probability that some of the electrons can affect the nerve cells of the brain, and it can affect it. Surely it can affect it.
Thank you, sir.
No, who is using Nokia 23? Your noise is disturbing us. Oh. Any other question? We have less than 3 minutes to go. Any other question?
No question from here, sir.
Yeah. Today we have a full attendance. We have 9 students joining today. This is impressive.
This one, thanks, sir.
This is impressive.
Yes, sir.
We like this because no lecturer will be very happy. Will be very happy teaching an empty class.
Happy.
So today we have a lot of people joining. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll continue the next class by 10 o'clock. So we can take a break. I will share it with the class rep who will share it with everybody.
All right.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
You're most welcome, sir.
Continue to stay safe.
Yes, sir.
Continue to stay safe.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. You can log out from your hand so that your data will not finish, but I'm processing the recording.
Okay.
All right, sir.
Yeah, the class has ended, so you can log out so that your data, but I'm processing the recording.